Sk8er Boi by Avril Lavigne is way more intricate than you remember. I did not imagine I was going to make this video when I woke up this morning, but I was reminded at how unbelievably good in kind of an unexpected way this song is, and it's one that I don't think I even appreciated until much later. But let's go back to 2002 because there might be some stuff in here that you don't even remember being this complex and intricate and just awesome. Check this out. By the way, Avril Lavigne is like 40. Do with that information what you will. Don't get too depressed over that. Anyways, here we go. 2002. Yeah. Okay, that was like the first hint. And I know I'm not getting very far into this, but we can just, again, look at the roots. Because this is going to tell us sort of what we're getting here. And now we're kind of only going like, oh wow, I didn't even think about that. I didn't plan this out, but I'm just realizing now that there's so much information literally in that 2-note line, right? And how iconic and how catchy is just that 2-note line. But there's so much going on in here. I mean, first of all, if we play a D and we're calling that our root, well, there's our indication that it's major, right? Because we get the major third. But we go right to the ninth. Now, I know this is the second, but often we call it the ninth because we're thinking of it like an extension. We're gonna call it the ninth. So like that ninth melody there in this guitar line immediately becomes, when we move to A, now it's 6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 6, 5. Now let's go to the next chord. That one's super cool too because we don't know it yet. Or do we know it yet? I have to listen again. I don't think we know it yet, but we're gonna be playing a B minor chord here. And that's the 5th, but that's the 11th, right? Because check this out. If we were to build that chord out as like a minor 7 chord, that's our 11, and so as a melody, it just works really well. This is where it gets interesting. We hear a brief indication of what's about to come when we hear this B flat. And we still get the F sharp to the E. And then we resolve it here, and then back to the beginning. Now, just in that beginning, there's so much information about why this is so intricate. Probably way more intricate than you remember it being, but we're gonna get in a little further before I break down exactly what's going on. So we're still in that. Okay, almost the exact same bass line. all right, wait. So now we're really defining what these chords are, right? So we have D major to A major to B minor. So far, everything indicates that this is going to be a normal pop chord progression. 1, 5, minor 6, 4. That would be completely expected here. That would work very well. Nobody would bat an eye. They'd be like, sure, 2002 Avril Lavigne, we're more than willing to accept that because that's kind of everything we hear, pretty much. But that's not what we do. We go 1, 5, minor 6, and then we get this. But it's not quite this. I'm tempted to say it's B flat major, but it's not really. And why isn't it? Well, let's look at the melody. I'm geeking out, and I know I'm geeking out. I'm fully aware of that. You don't have to remind me in the comments, but here's the thing. Look, this right here, you guys, it's the minor 4 chord. So if in the key of D, we have, let's look at our diatonic triads in the key of D. That just means the triads that we would build using only the notes of D major. So if we just take those notes and we build 3-note chords out of just those notes, we get these, right? And what that is D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, I'm forgetting my note names, A major, B minor, C sharp diminished. This is kind of the only one that doesn't fall into either minor or major. And then we get back to our root, right? Okay, so those are the diatonic triads. Now, when we decide to switch one of those chord qualities, we can get some interesting things happening. I'll give you an example. So, oftentimes, the 2, most of the time actually, the 2 is minor, right? But what happens if we make the 2 major? Well, now you're going to hear a sound that you probably can think of things that sound, it sounds pretty familiar. It goes like this. Great sound, right? And it sounds a little different, and that's because we've taken a chord that would be minor under normal circumstances, and we've made it major. It's you know, in the jazz world, I grew up learning it to consider that like a secondary dominant. Not if you're in a classical theory realm, they don't always call it that, but that's kind of neither here nor there. It's a dominant chord in a place where a minor chord we would expect a minor chord, right? So what are we doing here? When we have our 4 chord, that's almost always going to be major. But what happens if we make it minor? We get that beautiful sentimental sound that just, it's like such a heart-wrenching kind of, right? And why? Because I think it's largely because we have now 2 half-step resolutions. We have the B flat and the G that are going to go down a half-step each to our D major resolution. So it's a very powerful resolution, right? Now in this case, we're using the minor 4, but we're doing it in a really interesting way, because not only do we not have the root of the minor 4, we have its third, its minor third. We're using B flat. Now, that's cool already, but then the melody forces us to use the major 7th. So really what we're using here is a minor major 7 chord, like G minor with a major 7. We call that G minor major 7. That's kind of the chord that's happening right here. And it's just like so out of place, because normally we would have expected the major 4 chord, right? 1, 5, minor 6, 4. Very common pop chord progression. And instead we've done a few things. We've not only made it minor, that's weird, but we've totally thrown out using the 4 as the root. We're using the B flat, that's oddity number 1, and then oddity number 2 is we're making that chord a minor major 7 chord. But it's just so, I don't know, it's just so great and so unexpected here. And then the second time around, we go up a half step. How cool is that? So the first time we're on B minor, we go down a half step. And the second time we're on B minor, we go up a half step. It's just this, it's really brilliant.
He wanted her, she'd never tell. Secretly she wanted him as well. And all of the friends stuck up their nose, and they had a problem with his baggy clothes.
Okay, and then, this is so crazy. Okay. You know, when I was a kid, I remember hearing this song and thinking it was like so cool, and it was like, oh, because I loved like the guitars and everything, and it's just, I don't know, I just thought it was cool. It was, how old was I in 2002? Math. 9. I was 9 years old in 2002, and I just remember like hearing the song and be like, yo, that's sick, like, and I just, of course, you know, that was right around the time I started playing the piano, and so I didn't know anything about music theory, but like now listening to this, I'm like, yo, there's so much more in here than I thought, because listen, now we go into the chorus and check out what we do.
Secretly she wanted him as well. And all of the friends stuck up their nose, and they had a problem with his baggy clothes.
Where are we going? We're going to
He was a skater boy, she said, see you later, boy. He wasn't good enough for her.
check that out. We go to F major. Now that's interesting for a couple of reasons. First of all, we started in the key of D major. This is up a minor third. Now, why is that so impactful? Here's what's cool about minor third changes. When we move a key by a minor third, it is particularly jarring to our ears because it is a completely different key. Let me explain what I mean, because I know any key is a completely different key, but here's why the minor third is, I think, particularly unique. When we look at a D major, we have just the key of D major, 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. If we were to go from D major and end up in G major, well, now we're going from a key with 2 sharps to a key with 1 sharp, right? F sharp. It shares almost all of the exact same notes. In fact, the only notes from the note bank of D major that changed to get us to G major is just we traded out a C sharp for a C natural. Now this is now the notes of G major. We just started from G, obviously, right? And then if we change that G major back and change the C back to a C sharp, well, now we're back to the notes of D major. We just start D major from D, right? But you see how close those are? We can do that with a whole bunch of other things. I mean, even D, like, what's another example? D to A. Well, we're going the other direction. Instead of taking out a sharp, now we're adding a sharp. Now we're adding G sharp in addition to C sharp and F sharp. But again, all notes are exactly the same as D except for we moved our G to a G sharp. So you see how it's like they're different keys, but they're still so close to each other. When we start talking about minor thirds, everything changes. Because if we have let's look at F. F is 1 flat. It's a really different key than D. That actually sounds super cool. Playing the entire scale. Did you know that? You can play the whole scale as a chord. Why not? Sure. I mean, we're kind of doing the same thing when we spread them out into thirds. Right? That's the whole D major scale. Anyways. So D and F are very different from each other naturally. Okay? And that's why when we change keys and we do something like a minor third movement, everything gets different because now we're in a different, like, all the chords surrounding F are going to be like F, C, D minor, B flat, unless you're playing Sk8er Boi, in which case we do something a little different. We go F, let me see if I can back up. F, C, B flat to A. Oh, okay, look. F, F. Now this one, I don't straight up hear a C major chord. I think we're just sort of changing the root. Almost like we're prepping this note to drop down to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I don't hear it as a full-blown C major chord. But that is sort of the motion that we're implying. And then, I just love this so much. A major, A7 actually, because the melody is... How often have you heard that resolution, right? Going from F, drop down to C, and then B flat to A, back to F. Like, what? B flat, right back to D. We just drop it right back in. I mean, it's just, I never knew. I never noticed, right? I loved the song. This is probably why. I just didn't have the words or the knowledge to explain what was so cool about it. But if we move forward here, we have another verse that follows the exact same trajectory. So we're gonna stay in F. There's our B. Yo, we changed it again. Now, oh man, it's all so related. It's more related than I'm realizing more and more as I start describing this, right? So F major, and again, I don't know that it's not like C major. It's kind of just still like F, but anyways. But then we get, how cool is that? We drop on that D flat for a second here in this like, interlude, I guess. Okay, so D flat, and then that releases a half step up into the bridge, which goes to D minor. F major, C major, B flat major, A. So she's literally setting that D minor up with a 5 chord, like a flat 6, 5, 1. In early 2000s, I don't know. Is this punk rock? I don't know the genres. I'm bad at genres. D minor to F major, C major, then B flat, A, and then we go right back to D. But now we're back into the chorus, and it's major again. Huh? It all of it leads so well around itself.
And I'm just a girl. Can I make it any more obvious?
Oh man. A, C, back to the chorus. B flat, B flat. That's where we end. We end on B flat. We even get like 6, 5, sharp 4 as our final melody thing. What? Here's an alternative ending, right? Imagine if that was the ending. Oh man, this song is just like, it's got so much stuff in it. It is so much more intricate than any of us remember, and it is absolutely fantastic. I was reminded of this recently, and I was like, I have to talk about this because I don't think I've ever broken this down, even in my brain, despite knowing the song from so many years ago. Anyways, I had to share it. I had to share it with you guys because I just think that this is so much more intricate than any of us remembered, and it's so exciting to me when I realize stuff like this from these songs that were so big in like our childhoods and stuff. Maybe your childhood, maybe your adulthood. I don't know how old you are, but like, it's a great song, and it's really not oddly constructed, but really brilliantly constructed. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate it. So hopefully you do too. Let me know your recommendations from this era in the comments below that I should check out that are also sneakily, really, really amazingly written. And thanks for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.